What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Ballers World Live.
With a Z.
Ballers World Live with a Z. Alexa jumping in with a Z. Real fast before we get going with this next segment, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Anta America. Go ahead and visit AntaAmerica.com. Use the promo code ESPN2 for a 30% discount. They're giving them away.
Yes,
That's crazy.
Go get them.
They're great.
Go get them.
30%. Go ahead, Rob. What were you going to say, man?
All right. Well, this segment is sponsored by LA VIP Agent, the number one real estate sports and entertainment agency. And we're going to get in to speaking with John Lucas, current assistant with the Houston Rockets, actually number one draft pick back in 1976.
Maryland.
He's actually one of the smallest guards since Allen Iverson to go number one. That's actually under 6 feet tall. So we're going to have a chance to talk with John, dig into that Rockets debacle, that meltdown there in the fourth quarter. We're going to talk a little bit more about the future of the franchise going forward and John's role and impact that he's had on the NBA with a lot of players. So let's bring John on. Let's have this conversation. Coach, you there?
I'm here. Hello,
Welcome.
guys. How you doing?
I'm great,
We're
man.
great.
Ballers with a Z. Huh?
I always got to plug it in just in case people try to search us and they put the S, but we like the Z, so we're sticking with the Z.
It's good having you, man. You sound great.
I like that. How are you guys? Doing good? You all looking forward to the finals tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Oh, you already
excited.
Who's not,
know
man?
it.
Right.
Who you got?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's going to be a very good series. I think the key matchup in that whole series will be how can Cleveland keep LeBron on Durant and how they can move Durant around to keep him away from LeBron.
That's right.
Yeah.
Matchups.
And I think that's one of the critical pieces of this whole series will be matchups. A lot of people miss that the NBA is all about matchups.
That's right. That's
Who
what I
can
tell
guard
you.
who. Some of the best things are done are matchups. And, I think Kyrie and Steph will end up being a washout.
Yeah.
I think Draymond and Kevin Love end up to being similar. I think that Iguodala coming in can play a significant role with Shumpert, but it comes down to KD and LeBron, how both coaches can move them around where they don't have to be seen with each other guarding them.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we know both of these teams actually bring an offensive juggernaut. They have a lot of power, efficiency in the fourth quarter scoring. So let me ask you this. Who do you think will be the X factor in this series? Which player do you think will be the X factor?
Well, it's funny. I think JaVale McGee's length at the rim could present some problems for them because he and Tristan Thompson, he's longer than Thompson.
Yeah.
And if he can stay on the floor, then that's going to nullify a lot of LeBron getting to the rim.
Yeah.
And Durant's defensive prowess this year. So I think JaVale McGee will have a big role in this. And then someone off that bench, I think Iguodala, along with Klay Thompson,
Sean Livingston.
and Sean Livingston, all can guard. Sean Livingston brings a different factor as he goes to a big guard. So it's really going to be interesting, the chess match. Game 1 and 2 won't be the decisive game in this series, but Game 3 will be the game that will decide this series.
I agree with you. I said earlier today in the green room, I think whichever team actually wins that road game, that game on the opponent's home court, I think will have the advantage for the series. So whoever wins first on the road, I think will win overall, in my opinion.
It's really funny. I thought we beat both teams once. We lost to Cleveland in Cleveland, and then we beat Golden State early in the year to give them their first loss. And they really came back and really defended us. And when people talk about an offensive juggernaut, those two teams are at the top of the list defensively too.
They're a nightmare.
You don't win a championship. You don't win a championship unless you top 5 defensively as well as offensively. And both teams are there.
Absolutely. Coach, this is Alexis talking. I have a question for you. Now that you guys, playoffs is over with, you guys are kind of moving on and focusing on the draft and free agency. What's really next for the Rockets, and who are you guys looking for?
Well, I don't know that we're looking for anything. This was a really good year for us. We switched James over to point guard. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah,
this
it worked
year.
out great.
I think he probably he gave out near the end. I think he's just a little bit of fatigue. And then, the way that we play is a style of play that, we only need about a 6 or 8 minute segment to put a game away. We can either get ourselves back in it or get ourselves out of it based on the threes that we shoot. So I really enjoy what we've done this year. I think Ryan Anderson and our spacing has been good. Clint Capello came on. But for us, losing Nate
that was
really
big.
hurt
Yeah,
us
that was
because
big.
of the physicality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, my question is, with that last game, and you chalked it up to fatigue, but from your personal opinion, I know that your personal opinion can only go so far. With James in that last game, with James Harden in that last game, what was it? There's been a lot of talk like, oh man, he gave up, or he wasn't really into it. There were a couple moments where it seemed like he wasn't himself. So what's your take on that?
I think what really hurt us was the game we lost in overtime in San Antonio. I don't think we recovered.
I agree. I agree with
I
that.
think, and I think it's one of those things. You all remember Serena Williams, when she had won like 100 matches in a row and was trying to complete the Grand Slam, and all of a sudden she had a meltdown.
Correct.
Didn't play very well, and everybody wondered what had happened. Just the intensity of the year had brought about a bunch of mental fatigue.
Yeah.
And I think for us, 57 games, James having to do so much for us throughout the course of the year that, always the one time not to have a bad game seems to be the game that you shouldn't have a bad game.
Right.
And for him, I just think, but we're not there unless he played at the level he played at all year.
Yeah. Which brings me to my question, for next season. Alexis brought up, drafts coming up here. Are there any particular players you're looking to add to the bench to improve, to help maybe take off some of the load? We know you guys have a great, three-point shooter surrounding James, but maybe bringing in some help at the point guard spot, more offensive. Maybe, we know Beverly does a great job of defending, but maybe, another third point guard that can help him out in those situations late game to give him a rest. Because, he was gassed in those last two games in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think that we have 2 second-round picks right now. I think we're looking for a backup for Ryan Anderson who could help spray. I think Sam Decker getting hurt really hurt his growth. So, we had Sam Decker. Lou Williams really had come on for us and had a great year. So I don't think there's much that we need. I think we need that physicality piece in the post to help Clint Capello get one more year of size on him. And so I think that's some of the things that we look at. And shooting is always going to be a premium for Mike D'Antoni's offense.
Correct. Well, you also have played a major role, Coach. Now you're assistant.
Isn't that a good way of not telling y'all the thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
You danced around that. You danced around that real nice.
That question, man.
That was expert level.
Well, we I guess we won't be seeing you guys making any moves for CP3 in the offseason. Can we anticipate that?
I can't talk about any of the things that we'll be doing or what we'll do or who we'll look at. But I think we're always, and one of the things that Daryl Morey, along with Les Alexander, has always done is look to improve our team. And I think that we're going to have a good chance to improve who we are this year.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great, and I think that we can be a factor because we have about $10 or $11 million in the cap with the capabilities to go to 13 mil. So I think we can be a player in that game if that's necessary. The key is to sit down and figure out what our primary needs are.
Correct.
And who can play along with James Harden. James did a great job at the point this year, but at the end of the year, still learning the point guard position.
Correct.
The nuances of it is still something that's a gift. You just can't be. The point guards are born. Yeah. They aren't developed.
Yeah. Well, Coach, you played a major role in the NBA, from going back to your heydays in the 80s and, obviously playing a major role and more or less being more like an ambassador to the league, helping a lot of young players, extend their careers or get back into the league, dealing with outside personal issues. What does it mean to you now to be in this position and have the role that you have with the Rockets?
Well, I think for me, I love seeing people get their dreams come back and play. And I think the league is turning away since there's so many young kids, that player development is probably the most critical piece. Because if you can't develop, this thing about the Spurs, they've developed their talent. And so for us, if we can develop like a Clint Capello, he gets better. Our draft pick, Manu, Sam Decker, and our guys and Patrick Beverly, if they can continue to get better, one, it increases the value of your team.
Correct.
And then the players and the assets that you have to be able to move. So I think that in 2 years, basketball is going to be a head coach and 2 or 3 player development coaches developing the team, because with the analytics of the game, scouting reports are going to become useless because all the analytics are going to tell you how you're going to play certain plays and cover certain things.
And coach,
and that's the scary thing.
To Rod's point, with players that you've helped to develop, you played a major role in TJ Ford's
recovery.
Recovery.
Yeah, after the neck injury.
You all have done your homework.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, TJ got his degree 2 weeks ago.
We did. We shouted him out here on Ballers World. We gave him a congratulations here.
Yeah, 15 years later.
Yeah.
And I guess the best tweet, I got a tweet from him and a shout out.
Yes.
Was thank Coach Luke for what you did to help me get back. And you know what? That is well worth it for me to see somebody get their dream.
Yes.
And I remember when TJ was coming back and couldn't move, and he called me up and said he was going to retire. And I said, no, we're not. We're not going to leave $22 million on the table.
Yes.
We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And see, I'm big on the front of the uniform winning as well as the back of the uniform winning. So he came in the gym, and we learned how to fall. We learned how to stand up. We had learned how to get strength again and to gain confidence. And he went back to play 5 more years.
Yep. Well, your impact has not just touched TJ, but it's definitely touched many of players, and we can go on and on about that. But it's great to also see TJ, more or less follow, in your footsteps, where he's now developing young players with his TJ Ford Basketball League. And now I follow it regularly. I've seen guys like Moochie and, other players that are involved in the community. So we're seeing that extension of what the seeds that have been planted through his relationship with you starting to blossom. It's really beautiful to see. And I want to, congratulate you on all your success over the years. It's been a joy to watch, even with your sons. And we thank you for coming on. We got to go now, but we really appreciate you coming
so
on
much.
Tonight.
Coach Lucas, thank you.
Wait, hold on. My time's up.
Oh, yes, man.
It goes,
when you going to be in L.A., we got to get you in the studio, baby.
And before you go, if the Rockets need anyone, I'm available. I'm a free agent. I'm an undrafted free agent. So just in case, Harden needs a backup, I got you, Coach.
Well, tell Darryl Moore I said what's up as well, Coach. Well, also, we want to give a shout-out to DJ Mr. E once again, who's going to take us out on the ones and twos. Coach, take care and have a great evening.
All right, thank you.
All right.